My father always told me that if I ever found myself at a poker table and I couldn't spot the sucker in the room, it was me. I'm going to teach you how to spot the shady jeweler so that you can get the most bang for your buck. Alright, so let's talk about the 5 easy to remember tips to help make it easier for you to spot that shady jeweler. The first one is lighting. There's an interesting thing about a diamond is when light hits a diamond, that light is going to either be reflected, refracted, or diffracted. What that simply means is, like a mirror, when light hits a mirror, that light bounces off, that's a reflection. That's how you see yourself. But what you want a diamond to do is you want it to absorb the light, which is refraction, take that signal of light and amplify it and make it brighter. The problem with crappy diamonds is that light that tends to go inside of it goes leaked out the bottom. So what a dishonest jeweler will do is they realize, well, if I add more lights in the room, then even if I'm leaking a lot of light out the bottom, I can make a crummy diamond look good. So what's the tip here? Pay attention to how many lights are on your diamond. If there's a lot of lights, more than likely that diamond you think is sparkly won't look good in a regular lit environment. Also, keep in mind, where are you going to be looking at this diamond most often? That's where you really need to test to see if you're happy with the sparkle of the stone, not in an overly lit jewelry store. Okay, tip number 2. You're physically now in the jewelry store. Now pay attention. The salesman is going to try to guide you over to cases filled with jewelry. And there's a reason for that. What a typical jeweler is going to try to do, especially the shady ones, is to get you to fall in love with jewelry that's the stones already in there. Because the jeweler, shady jeweler, will take their worst quality diamonds and they'll put them in the setting. Now, it's tempting, extremely tempting, to want to start with the setting first and then pick out the diamond. But don't put the cart before the horse. The reason is the most expensive part should be 80% of your budget goes towards that center diamond. Think of a solar system. The center stone, like the sun in a solar system, goes in first and then everything else revolves around that. The other thing too is if you buy a setting first and then try to jam a diamond in, it never fits exactly right. So what you want to do is look at your diamond loose, then if you happen to see a setting that you like, have one custom made to fit that particular one and don't force the pieces together. As you see here, I'm holding a large piece of glass. This really isn't a diamond. But what's interesting about it is that on this one edge, I've put a little black mark on there to represent an inclusion. Now, notice what happens. If the diamond's loose, that piece of carbon, or on the other side, where there's like a crack, those are easily visible on a loose stone. But by just taking a piece of metal, a prong, the jeweler knows how to set that and he'll cover it up. So, tip number 2 is very straightforward. Ask to see the diamonds loose first. Don't let them drag you over to the jewelry case that's got ready-made jewelry. Because in that case are diamonds that have been set in such a way that you really can't see the inclusions or blemishes that can really affect the value of your ring. Okay, tip number 3. When you're in the store, listen for the following words: certified, certificate, GIA certified, AGS certified, EGL certified. This is going to give you a false sense of security. You got to know what's going on here. The jeweler has diamonds. Now, especially the poor quality ones, they know they can't sell. So if I've got something that are runts that I can't do very well with, I know that if I package them right with a nice little bow on it, I could possibly sell them. So what they're doing is they're taking these crummy stones, sending them to labs, and getting to say nice things about them, and then you walk into the store and they go, oh, don't worry, this stone is certified, implying that that guarantees something. take a look. If you read the fine print on all these lab reports, what you'll see is they're not a guarantee, an evaluation, or an appraisal. And you need to know what you're getting. You need to know what clarity grade it is. You need to know what color grade it is. And not just fictional, you need to know what the true grade is. Not from a soft report that's been taking the grades and inflating them, but truly what quality is that you're getting on the stone. So the minute someone starts throwing around the word certified, certificate, and implies that this guarantees the quality, it doesn't. You've got to make sure you have documentation that in writing says this is a guarantee, valuation, and an appraisal. Otherwise, that sense of security you've got is false. You might as well just put yourself in a straitjacket and slap yourself with all the lab reports in the world. It's not going to do any good. You're not going to go anywhere. Tip number 4. This is really straightforward. If you've got a great product, you don't have to give an incentive. You don't have to say easy credit. You don't have to say 20% off, 40% off, 50% off. There doesn't have to be some push to get you to buy the product. Look, Apple. You see sales on Apple products? Do you see, go to Louis Vuitton, you see them ever have a discount on their purses and the merchandise that they've got there? Nah. You discount the crappy stuff. So if you're in a store and you see 20, 30, 40, 50% off of what? A lot of stores will purposely mark up 2, 3, 400% to run these quote fake 50% off discounts. And so, huge. Stay away from stores that are quote running sales, because all they're really doing is running more money into their pocket and selling you junk. Okay, tip number 5. You've picked out the piece of merchandise that you like and that you're happy with. You think you've done a pretty good job, but there is one last thing that you need to pay attention to, and it actually kind of leads back to the very first tip, which is I'm repeating what I started at the beginning, which is lighting. Turns out that jewelers have figured out that if they sold you a crappy diamond and you leave the store and you're not in the well-lit environment, that you're going to figure it out. I know this sounds crazy what I'm about to tell you, but it's true. What stores are doing is, after they've sold you the particular diamond and they want to keep you sold when you walk out the door, they're actually mounting little tiny LED lights inside their ring boxes. So that when you walk out and you open it up, you go, well, gee whiz, still looks sparkly, still looks good. It's a gimmick. They'll say to you, well, this is so that you can propose in the dark. No. If you're at the end of the sale and someone hands you a ring box and there happens to be a little LED light in it, red flag, warning, warning, Will Robinson, get out of there. The reality is, this is a company that knows they need extra light to make their diamonds look good. Take a look at this box. I got my hands on one of these. Take a peek. You can see how the LED light is mounted on top of the box so that they can get you to keep believing it's super sparkly. Well, guess what? If you stare into a flashlight, it'll be bright. But we want the diamond to amplify the light. Anyway, those are my 5 tips. This is Fred Quare, the Diamond Guy. Talk to you next time.